Hi, everybody. It's Gene Simmons, and you're not, and you're listening to the Potter Than Hell podcast with Steve, BC, BB, and Dylan. But you knew that, didn't you?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Potter Than Hell podcast. This is your last stop on the crazy train of hard rock and heavy metal. So sit back, buckle in, and hang on. Here we go.
Hello, Potter Than Hellions. Welcome back to the Potter Than Hell podcast. This is Steve, your host, and I am joined this week by
Dylan.
And we are in sunny, beautiful, hot as balls Myrtle Beach, which we have not done in a long time, Dylan. We've not done a vacation episode together. I want to say, I think the last one was in Vegas, maybe?
It was Vegas, because we were thinking of doing one in Chicago, but we didn't want to be murdered by...
That's true.
By
our traveling companions, meaning my wife and my other son, Carson, they were rather pissed that Dylan and I did like a 2.5 hour episode on Metallica while we were on vacation in Vegas.
Yeah.
So we decided to forego it when we were in Chicago last year, but we have some extra time. We're here for a week in Myrtle Beach with our family. I think there's like 18 of us all together down here. So, 17 now, which we'll get into a little later.
Well, I think they might have also been mad that we were covering such terrible Metallica albums as compared to the rest of the catalog. Like, if we were doing Master of Puppets or Ride the Lightning, maybe they'd be a little more receptive to it. But we were doing Load, Reload, and Saint Anger, so... You know,
well,
maybe that was the real reason.
I don't think your mother gave a shit about Metallica albums we were doing, truthfully. But it's fun. I miss doing these ones. Like I said, we haven't done one in it's a couple years now, really. Mm-hmm. So I'm glad we're back. We're having a great vacation here. We had a little bump in the road 2 days ago, and like I said, we'll get into that in a little bit. So Dylan and I are just going to do this first part of the show because we don't want to take up a lot of our guests' time on their vacation as well. Dylan, how are you enjoying your vacation?
It's been a lot of fun. We had a really funny game of cards last night that I was busting a gut laughing at, and it's been nice going to the beach and riding around the golf cart and my one wheel and just having a good time. It's been a really, really refreshing experience for sure.
Yeah, I love coming down here. We are at Ocean Lakes family campground. It's not just like campers and stuff. We're in a condo right now, and we've been coming down here for years and years. We love it, and we recorded our first vacation episode here as well.
We did,
and we're having a good time. Myself and Carson and Seth and Tyler golfed on Monday. We're recording today. It is the 4th of August. We golfed on Monday, and today's, I think, Thursday, and then Seth was unable to golf with Tyler and Carson and myself, so our cousin Jack golfed with us yesterday, and man, I'll tell you what, it's hot down here. The heat index was 125. You could have just wrung my shirt out at the end, but we had a great time golfing though. It was courses are beautiful down here, and we've been doing a lot of stuff right on the cart. My wife and I went to a Pelicans baseball game. They are a Cubs farm team, if you want to call it, down here in Myrtle Beach. Great stadium. We had a great time there. So we've been doing a bunch of stuff here. Great spending time with our family that we don't get to see all the time. So it's been really fun. Last week, Dylan, what did we do last week, Dylan?
We had a little bit of Scandinavian bands. Brian and Steve and Michael from the Grown Up Rock podcast talk about some really cool bands over in the Scandinavia area, mostly from Sweden.
Yeah.
We didn't quite spread out too much in that aspect, but
which we are going to.
Yeah, we're gonna make sure not to pick Sweden next time. But it was a really good episode, I thought.
Yeah, I had a excellent time. It's always fun bringing Steven on, and I didn't hate your album, Dylan, like I thought I was going to.
Yep.
It's pretty much we did Opeth. What was the name of the
Blackwater
album?
Park.
Blackwater Park, Opeth Blackwater Park. And as soon as I heard that, I was like, oh God. But I'll tell you what, it wasn't terrible. I didn't hate it. There was a ton of cool riffs and stuff in there. The when they sang with the clean vocals, it was it was, like, holy shit, like, I wish this guy'd sing like this all the time. But I think there were times where the gruff vocals really fit in well. Mm-hmm. And I enjoyed it too. And Steven brought the Eclipse album. Eclipse, we've been rocking to those guys, from those guys, from Steven and Sonny, pretty much putting those guys out there for us to check out. And, we've been all in with them guys. BB did the Fate album. I did Confess. BC did the Bullet album. God, I wish that the vocals were better on that one. He just killed me on it. But musically, it was fantastic. And it was a great episode. I really enjoyed doing it. And before we get going, Dylan, what have you been listening to?
I've been kind of on a Prince kick lately for some reason. I don't know why. I just kind of found myself drawn to a lot of different Prince albums. But the one that I recently listened to was the re-release of Prince of the Revolution Live, where they played in Syracuse. Very good concert. Opens up with Let's Go Crazy, fantastic opener. There was a lot of contention between Prince and the Revolution back in the day because, he wanted to have kind of a different band as he was going forward, and the Revolution wasn't too into that, and there was a lot of, tension, I would say.
Okay.
But it's cool to see the band together at this point and playing great music. Really good snapshot of them at their peak for sure. So, a little bit of Prince of the Revolution.
All right, yeah. For me, I really haven't been listening to a lot of stuff specifically. I started to get into, I wanted to go back and go through all the Armored Saint albums. I literally, time-wise and what stuff going on, I didn't even get through March of the Saint. I got through the EP, but that's only 3 songs, so that, no big feat there. But I wanted to go through the catalog because it's been a while since I've really delved into those guys, and I'll tell you what, and it's check out some of their, and lyrically some of their songs are like holy shit, and I realized actually going back even listening to March of the Saint how much I really don't know what the fuck John Bush is singing. And it's not because I don't, you can't understand what the lyrics are when he's singing. It's just that, I'm more of a music guy that I just want to, listen to it. Like, I know the choruses and, like, pre-choruses and stuff like that, but sometimes a lot of the meat of the songs I really don't, know what they're singing. But I've been trying to do that, and coming down here, I have a list that I call the Millennial Playlist on my phone, and it's a 12-hour ride and or drive down here where we are, so I listen to a lot of that, just a good mix of everything from Aerosmith to Ghost to Metallica to Amon Amarth, you name it, and I pretty much have it on that list. But I've been just kind of rocking to that, and they have we have golf carts down here on the campground, so we drive around. So I've been having my speaker out and just kind of riding around playing some classic metal. And actually we went out on it the other night, my wife and I had a little 80s playlist going, so it was pretty much like having the 80s on 8s on XM playing around the campground. So it's pretty much been attempting to listen to Armored Saint and listen to just pretty much playlists for the week. And it's good too because I've really been grinding reviewing albums of stuff that we have coming up, so it gave me a good break in that. So I just kind of been laying low, nothing too in depth where I'm gonna have to think about what I'm listening to, just enjoying music right now and on our vacation. And so that's what we got going. Dylan's got Prince of the Revolution Live from Syracuse with a little angst going on in the between Prince and the Revolution at the time. Myself attempting Armored Saint and just pretty much listening to a ton of good music, whether it be 80s pop stuff or and actually the one playlist that I listened to yesterday riding around the campground was, I have a classic metal one, so it's Priest, Maiden, Metallica, Saxon, all just stuff like that. Nothing too crazy, no like death metal or nothing like that, but just good solid metal. So that's what we got going.
So for the crux of the episode, we're going to be bringing in our 2 cousins, Seth and Tyler, and we're going to have them listen to a playlist that we put together. The thing about it, though, is that they're not usually the type of people that listen to hard rock and heavy metal. So it's going to be an experience for them. It's going to be very interesting to hear their thoughts, I think. And when we come back, we'll have them at the table with us and over Skype with us. And we'll have them tell us our thoughts on the playlist that we put together. So we'll see you in a second.
All right, we are here with our two guests today. We are here with Seth Robinson. How are you, Seth?
Hey, I'm doing good. How are y'all? Thank you for having us.
And we are here with Tyler Quigley. How are you, buddy?
Living the dream. Thank you for having us.
Hey, thanks for spending some time with us. And I mentioned before that Seth had golfed with Carson, myself, and Tyler on Monday, but he was unable to golf yesterday because Seth, you had a little setback, little injury that kind of ended your vacation. How you feeling?
Yeah, I tried to have a little bit too much fun, and I fell and kind of like twisted my knee up underneath of me, and I could barely walk. So I went home. I'm going to the doctor and get checked out. A little swollen, moving very slow. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, they were at a what was it, Shark Water Park or
Shark Water Park? Yeah, it's this inflatable death trap, let's call it. It was a lot of fun, but you could definitely see how a lot of injuries could happen there.
Yeah, so Seth got a little ambulance ride from the park with his knee. So
They called the bus.
Yeah. So they kind of put the kibosh on Seth's vacation. So Seth, we hope you have a speedy recovery. He's going to the doctor today to get checked out and see what's actually going on there. So, but thanks for Skyping. Not Skyping. We're actually on the telephone right now with Seth with my little Bose Bluetooth speaker here. So that's why the Seth is going to be a little lower in the mix than we are. And actually, this idea, Seth and I were talking. I was down visiting his mother-in-law and him and his wife, obviously, in Virginia a couple weeks ago, and we were talking about the podcast and stuff. And then and Seth said, you should get guys like me on there that don't listen to this stuff and do a thing. And then I'm like, well, why don't we do you and Tyler? Because I know you guys aren't rock or metal guys. So I thought it would, we thought it would be interesting to give you guys a playlist. So Dylan picked 8 songs. I picked 8 songs. We gave these guys a playlist a couple weeks ago. They've been listening to it, and then we're here to, go over the playlist and get their thoughts on it, which I think is going to be very interesting. We'll do a little top 3 and bottom 3 at the end, and I'll go one at a time for you guys. I'll just ask you, just kind of, how'd you approach the list? Did you just give it a couple listens, then start jotting stuff down, or what was your approach to it? Seth, how did you go about it? Oh, go ahead, Dylan.
And I'd also like if you guys could talk about what music you normally do listen to, just so we can kind of get a baseline of what we're dealing with. What difference it is between what we listen to and what you guys listen to. So Seth, why don't you start us off?
Yeah, so probably the polar opposite of what this is. I grew up, country boy, South, listening to rap. That makes sense, right? But as I grew up, my taste evolved a little bit, and I'm pretty much just like 100% like EDM dance music style. That's what I like to do. However, I do have appreciation for most music and art in general. So I do listen to this stuff occasionally. I can't tell you who anybody is. I can say, oh, that's a cool guitar. And that's basically how my notes kind of go. So I did like a single pass at first, and I just jotted down like a play-by-play. I was listening, and I even have some time codes for certain parts. I was like, oh, this is cool at this time or whatever, and kind of just went down that. And then at the end, I gave each song a rating of a A to F scale. So that's generally what I did.
All right. Tyler.
Yeah, so for me, my favorite music genre, it's really anything that sounds good. I grew up listening to hip-hop. I grew up listening to like Bob Seger, the Eagles. My mom always used to play. My dad loved Bob Seger, so I grew up listening to that. And then now it's really anything that sounds good. Something with a good melody. Catchy lyrics is probably my number one thing. If you have a catchy chorus, something that gets stuck in my head, it's usually going to end up on something I replay over and over again. And I think you'll probably see that with my notes and my top 3. It's typically songs that are catchy, make me giggle a little bit, or ones that get stuck in my head that I'm singing on a golf cart ride or something. So.
All right. So what we did was I picked 8 songs. Dylan picked 8 songs. I probably said that before. So in the list, the order of the list was my list first and then Dylan's. I didn't mix it up or anything. So we'll do my list first, then we'll do our gem song and our gems, and then we'll do the second list. So should I just read all the songs, Dylan, or
maybe we can go like one at a time, just in case anybody had any
all right
individual notes with it.
Okay. All right. So the first song I picked was, and I don't know if you guys kind of caught the irony of this. The first band that I picked was Bull for My Valentine, and the song is Pleasure and Pain. And why did I pick that? Why did I pick that band, Tyler?
Well, Valentine, we're both married to Valentine girls, and they cause us pleasure and pain.
I think it's mostly the second one there.
Especially right now, right? All right, so Seth, what do you got on this one?
Okay, so are we saving? We're saving ratings for the end, right? You just want to hear kind of like my
yeah. We'll do the ratings at the end.
Sure. So I said it was like a fun and fast beat. I really enjoyed the vocals. Said it was slightly emo type vibe. The version that I was listening to, I was listening to. I have Google Music. I don't have Apple Music, so I was kind of like overwhelmed with the cymbal crashing. I thought there was way too much cymbal crashing. It was very excessive. And I noted that it was like a really cool guitar riff around 2:30, but the cymbals were very unnecessary. Had a nice strong finish, and then at the end I loved it was like a triple or skip beat at the end that I thought was really fun. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, for me, it started out super aggressive. The first 15 seconds, I was like, what the hell did I get myself into? But then it really came into it. I liked the chorus. As I said at the beginning, it was one of those that you could sing in my head, got stuck in my head. I've noted the same thing. I like the guitar solo there, and came back to reality. I actually found myself enjoying this song. One of my tops. I like that one a lot, but it's a good start to the playlist. But the first 15 seconds, I was like shaking my head. I was like, uh-oh. I don't know. We'll see how this goes.
Yeah, this is my favorite Bull for My Valentine album, so it was a really good pick for a song, I think. They have a lot of really good melodic parts for being such a heavy band, so I think that was a pretty good choice to lead off your list for sure.
Yeah, well, I wanted to pick it because of the Valentine thing. I was like, I got to put that and see if they noticed it. Tyler did, Seth did not.
Totally missed it.
But I wanted to start out the list with something aggressive like that to make you think, oh my God, what the hell is this? What is this going to be? And it's probably one of the most aggressive songs on here. Maybe, definitely not the most aggressive song on here, because we're going to have a crazy one later. But I've always liked the song. The solo's great. I like the difference of the clean vocals, and you get the screams in there too. But you're not overloaded with that.
Yeah.
So
I really enjoyed it. I that was one of my up theirs as well. And actually, it surprised me because it did start. It opened the book, and I was like, "Oh, right, this is where we're going." And I was like looking for it. I kind of feel like we went away from that, and I was thinking it was gonna be more that route and more heavier. So like that's what surprised me. We'll go down the list. You'll see that for me.
Yeah, I think Bullet does a really good job with that, where they started out as a straight hardcore band, where they were just all kind of screaming vocals, but then they started getting more and more melodies put in. And actually, Seth, their one album, Gravity, has a lot more like synth and electronic elements to it, so you might even like that album from them, because it's very much less heavy and more of the kind of melodic stuff. So I would check that out if you like this song.
Yeah, absolutely.
all right, up number 2, we have one of Dylan's favorite bands, always, Whitesnake from the 1987 album, song Bad Boys. What do you got for this one, Tyler?
For me, so I wrote down, this one was, the guitar at the beginning really caught me. And again, right, I'm not someone who notices that. I'm more of a vocals guy. But the guitar at the beginning kind of hooked me, and then I really liked the vocals. It reminded me a little bit more of when I was growing up. My dad would play songs for me, a little bit more of like the sweet vocals, kind of more melodic for me. So I liked this one. Like I said, the guitar at the beginning, it's weird. It hooked me, though. I was very interested in the song after that. I've heard of Whitesnake before. But yeah, that's my take on it.
All right, Seth.
Yeah, I noted a lot of the same stuff. I got like a total 80s vibe from the very beginning. The guitar riffing right in the beginning was awesome to me, and I said there were some really bold vocals, and it makes me want to go out. And I also put a little note here. I was going to say, hand me a beer, because that's what it felt like. I was like, I want a beer, I want to go out. Unfortunately, I can't do that right now. I wrote there was a sick guitar riff at about 140 I thought was really awesome, and then we went to some soft 80s vibe around 210. But what I didn't like is at the end it just kind of faded out, and I was like, fade outs are kind of cheap, but other than that, it was mostly enjoyable, and I enjoyed that song.
Yeah, I picked that because I know Dylan hates Whitesnake, and but this is one of my favorite songs from these guys. I just love the and just the whole vibe of the song, and you get that 80s feel for it. The guitar riffs are great in it, and I love seeing this live because when he does bad boys, and then he'll say like, and some bad girls, and it just, I always throw that in there because it's on like a couple live albums he does that. I've always liked the song, and plus I did it to bust Dylan's balls as well.
Yeah, I think it's a great song to open up Cops. You know, it really captures the essence of the show. No, it's this is an okay Whitesnake song. I just I don't know, like, you know me, I burnt out on Whitesnake very easily. This was good live. I will say that it has that energy, that live energy that translates pretty well into the recording for sure.
All right, next up we have songs called "Come Clean" by the band called Heat, and you guys out there in podcast land, you know that we love these guys. And Seth and Tyler, I have to tell you, we saw these guys on the Monsters of Rock cruise a couple years ago, and they had the guy that sings this song. He's not in the band anymore. He's actually the singer for Skid Row. I thought we might have picked the Skid Row.
No, Skid Row.
So he's a singer for the band called Skid Row. Now you guys probably maybe have heard that name before, but the guy that sings this song is the absolute best new front man that I've seen in probably 20 years. This guy was just insane. During the show on the pool deck, he literally stripped down to his boxers, crowd surfed through the crowd, jumped in the pool, swam across the pool while the band's playing, jumped out, crowd surfed back, and got changed back on the stage. I mean, just a fantastic, great showman. Guy's got an amazing voice. And let's see what you guys think. What do you got for this guy, Seth?
I'm just going to put a note out here, first of all, that not knowing who picked what, this is where it kind of starts to turn a little bit for me. And unfortunately, it's kind of more of a downhill for the rest of Steve's songs, and then Dylan's songs go back up. Anyways, what I have for "Come Clean" is it kind of felt like an anthem style, but using like a modern sound, which I thought was kind of cool. But it kind of stayed mild throughout the song. I wasn't this is horrible now because of everything you said, but I wasn't too interested in the vocal. I thought it was I don't know, it wasn't getting me right with the way the music was going. And I kind of felt like I was looking at it, I don't know if this is right or not, but they said the song was 2020, but it really felt like they wanted to be like an 80s kind of feel to it. Like they were trying to bring back that style, which has been popular lately anyways, just in every genre. I also felt like I should be making a montage or washing my car in short shorts at one point. and then at 2:35, I noted that the guitar was really trying hard, but he was just doing his best average solo. So sorry.
That's all right. Well, because and I'll just give you guys real quick just how I approached giving my list out there. I wanted to give you guys a taste of pretty much what we talk about on the podcast, where we'll do some
sampler platter.
We'll do some heavy stuff, some melodic stuff, and so that was my approach to it. So, and those guys, Seth, they definitely have that retro '80s hard rock feel to it. So I wanted to throw that one out there. What do you think, Tyler?
So it looks like we might have a little bit of a 2v2 here, because I actually think this is where it picked up for me, where, again, I say it at the beginning, I like anthem songs. I like songs that get stuck in my head. I like the vocals here. I agree with you. I didn't hear much of a guitar that kind of got me into it or anything like that. I thought the vocals really took center stage. I like the song. I get the exact same kind of throwback 80s vibe as well. But yeah, 2v2 here, because I think this is, you'll see where it starts picking up for me on these next reviews. So
yeah, Heat and bands like Eclipse are really good for what I like to call that soaring, feel, like where you're uplifted during like the choruses, where
they're you got kind of a group dynamic of feeling like you could take on the world. And it is perfect for that 80s vibe, and like Seth said, it's a really good montage music. You know, like
you're like in a Rocky movie or something.
Yeah, like you're Daniel LaRusso, you're the best doing the crane kick on the thing. You know, yeah, it's they capture that vibe very well. The Scandinavian bands that do that kind of stuff, and Heat's a really good example of that. So that was a good pick for that part of the podcast that we listened to. I think.
Yeah. All right, up next is band called Faster Pussycat. I picked the song Poison Ivy. I really like this song. This is I don't know if they're considered like a sleaze rock band, and they're still playing out there. And I've always liked this song. It's got the slide guitar in it. It's just always been a fun song for me. And Tyler, what did you think of this one?
So this was the first one that got stuck in my head. Easy to remember. Actually heard Steve playing the playlist while we were golfing yesterday. Found myself singing the song, strung together a couple pars because of it. But I really like this song. This was one of those that got stuck in my head. I actually added this to... So we got the playlist. I actually added this to my library for future listens. So you got me on this one, Steve. I think it was a good pick for me.
All right. Seth, what'd you got?
Kind of went the other way again. I kind of had like a folky feel to it, is what I thought. And I expected something way different. At this point, I was also like looking at the album arts and seeing like, all the creativity they had there. Because I do a lot of stuff with, video and images. And so just from like looking at that, I was expecting something completely different. But overall, it was a fun song, had a very rock and roll vibe by the end of it. It was okay. I liked it, but it wasn't my top.
Yeah, this song has the one thing that I love in those like rock and roll type songs, the jaunty piano. I love when they do the it just has that fun feel to it. The Great Gang vocals in the chorus are fantastic. You might know these guys from the song like House of Pain or Bathroom Wall. Great. These guys are insane on stage too. There's one really funny video of the bassist. He was absolutely loaded, and he wobbles a bit, and then he just like falls like a thing of timber. Like he drops,
smashes into the drum riser. And then literally they just pick him up and they bring another guy, and it's like not like the first time that's ever happened.
It's like,
before.
He's gone again. So these guys like to party. Even when M3 they did the rotating stage, and the lead singer was like sleeping on stage in his pajamas.
Yeah, I forgot about that. They literally had to wake him up to do the show.
Yep. Yeah, but this is a great song. Good pick for Faster Pussycat, I think.
Yeah. All right, and next song I picked was Empire, Queensryche from the Empire album. And this is always... Queensryche, guys, one of my favorite bands of all time. I love these guys, so if you rip on them, you know what? I don't care, but I love these guys. The songs about like gang violence, and I'm sure if you pay attention to lyrics at all, it goes through that, and it's very... the middle, the spoken word part in the middle is very timely for then, but it actually is if you could put it to modern times as well. But I've always liked the song. It's very, I think it's an intense song. The chorus is it's got a build to it that I really liked. And so Seth, what'd you think of this one?
Yeah, I got a little worried when we were there the other day, and I saw you wearing the shirt, and I was like, oh, because this was the most critical one I was on. And so I'm just going to read my notes straight down, and I'm glad I'm not there. It's sitting next to you right now. I noted the voicemail beginning, and I was like, is this Linkin Park? I said there was an awesome beat and guitars around 25 seconds, but then it kind of went really mild, and I was expecting more. I thought the beginning kind of like led it to be, it was going to be a lot heavier than what it came out to be. I wasn't a fan of what I called him the voiceover guy. A lot of his stuff I thought was kind of weird. And then he did that, like you were talking about, I called it the creepy government budget overview at around 3 minutes and 50 seconds. And then at 4 minutes, at 4:40, I was like, I thought this would be a completely different song, the way it started and the way it ended up. So it kind of just took a different turn from what I was expecting from the beginning. Anyways, that was my take on that one.
All right. Tyler.
For me, so this was the one of the only songs on the playlist that I had actually heard before, and we used this. We had a metal playlist for warm-ups in high school football, and this was one of those on there. This was one of my favorites. I thought it was a good pump-up song. I like some of the, I call it like monotone talk, because then it goes into a little bit more of like build-up, so to speak, where you got the adrenaline going. For me, right at 2 minutes 30 seconds is what I remember vividly. On getting jazzed up, ready to play, ready to knock some heads off. So I liked this one. One of my favorites and one of the ones that I had heard before. But I agree, it starts a little slow. I didn't recognize it until right around the 2 minute 30 seconds, and I'm like, I remember this song exactly this point. So I like this one.
Well, I never thought of Queensryche as a get pumped up for a football game song. I'm gonna have to to think about that one.
Yeah. I'm glad that you put in some kind of spoken word, because
we always talk about that all the time. Like, there's a ton of shit out there, and some of it is just like the one band. I don't think we picked anything from these guys either. There's one band, Megadeth. There's spoken word in like a couple songs, like on every album. It's like, just fucking sing.
Yeah, I don't know if I would have picked this Queensryche song to show people. If I was like introducing somebody to Queensryche, I would maybe go Jet City Woman or Best I Can or Eyes of a Stranger, because those have a little more get up and go throughout the whole thing. But Empire was an interesting choice. You really were, throwing it out there for sure.
I was, because I think it shows a lot of different sides of Queensryche within the one song. That's true. Why I wanted to throw that out there.
Yeah. It's another band that there's two versions of it currently, technically.
Yeah.
Where the lead singer is off on his own.
And then the band guys have their own thing, which I love both. And next song is actually another top 5 band of mine, Night Ranger, song called Touch of Madness, from the Midnight Madness album. I've always loved Night Ranger, seen them live a ton of times, met the guys in the band a couple times, super nice, humble guys. We've had their lead guitar player on an interview on the podcast here. Fantastic guy. He showed us his guitars and everything. It was fucking fantastic.
Brad Gillis.
And then
played for Ozzy too.
Yeah, he played for Ozzy Osbourne. And I always just love these guys. I love this was actually the first song that I saw these guys play live. I saw them at this amusement park called Rocky Glen Park, and they played the Pavilion there. And this was the first song that I seen them play live, so I just wanted to, throw that out there. I always kind of have some kind of reason why I picked all these songs, and that was the reason I picked this one. And Tyler, what did you think of this one?
I thought this one was one of the more mellow songs on the playlist. There's a good chorus, easy to sing along to. I sound like a broken record because these are the ones that I like the best again, right? So for me, this one was another one where I added to the playlist. It was catchy. It wasn't enough to kind of hook me and get me singing it over and over again, but I liked how mellow it was, and for the point in time I was listening to it, it was a great touch there. So for me, I like this one as well.
Seth?
Yeah, I thought the music was very interesting on this one. I said it was like a nice creepy intro. I kind of liked that. And I also kind of felt like with the sounds they were going for in a time period, are they trying to like be on the Ghostbusters album or something like that? Because that's what kind of the vibe I was getting. A lot of synths in there. I didn't necessarily thought that were great, but I still liked how it kind of felt. There was a moment in there with the riff that was also kind of got that creepy feel, and I was like, I'm ready to go trick-or-treating. I'm ready for fall. The end, though, kind of just went everywhere. It was all over the place. And then I got this note here. I was just typing. I was like, this is the longest fade out ever. Oh, it's coming back. It won't end. Okay, there we go. So I just kept going. I thought that was fun. But overall, it was a average song for me. I liked it.
All right. And it's funny that you said for a soundtrack, they do have several songs that are in movie soundtracks.
Yeah.
Awesome. So they were a big band back and then. And actually, I don't know if you've ever heard of the movie Secret of My Success. It's Michael J. Fox movie. It's it's really good. It's from the mid-'80s, and actually they do the title for that song is one of their songs, and I actually love it. Yeah. Okay. Next up, I picked a little Iron Maiden. I got a little heavier for this one here, 22 Acacia Avenue. It's actually part 2 of a trilogy of songs that Iron Maiden have about this hooker from London that started on their first album. The first one's called Charlotte the Harlot, and then they do 22 Acacia Avenue, which is this one, and it's written by my favorite guy, the guitar player in Iron Maiden, Adrian Smith, and I just love the time changes in this song, the heaviness of it. It gets really rocking in the middle, and then you get a little mellow part. And this, I think, is another song, kind of like the Queensryche one, where it shows multi-facets of Iron Maiden, especially at that time. And I love the drums in this one, too. Just a great... I don't even know... I would go insane. I don't think I've seen them play this song live. I think I would go lose my freaking shit if I seen these guys actually play this one live. No, you know what? I did. The first time I saw them play this song. Freaking kick ass. I did lose my shit. That was 1983. You guys, I don't even know if your parents had even met by 1983.
Mine haven't.
So yeah, no, we haven't. That's for sure. So 22 Acacia Avenue. What'd you think, Seth?
Yeah, so this was one I really enjoyed the music. At the beginning, though, I was concerned. I thought it was going to be kind of bland and mild, but then I noted a lot of the time changes, like you mentioned. I noted them because I really liked that. There was a slowdown at 136. I liked the change of the pace. The one thing I didn't care for this song, I just felt like the vocalist wasn't really matching the level of the music. I felt like it wasn't the same. And I wasn't sure that the lyrics were making sense with me with the way it was rolling, but I like the change of pace again at 3:53-ish mark. The guitar there I loved. It picked up even more at 4:40, and then I noticed the bass guitarist was going like hard, and even up until there was a part at 6:10 where I noted like I just really loved the bass guitar was going hardcore with the break there, and then just stops. It was over. It was like just like a hard break on the end there, but overall I liked that one.
I might get crushed for this one. I don't know if you're allowed to say anything bad about Iron Maiden. At least that's what I was told. But I thought this one was a little forgettable for me. Besides, like you mentioned, I noted the drums and I noted the guitar, but I thought the vocals were a little forgettable for me. Maybe it's because I didn't hear the other two parts and it didn't really make sense for me. I noted that it sounded like, I did note that it sounded that it played off of something, but I didn't know what it played off of. It was kind of just, it lost me almost. But besides the guitar and the drums, I thought this one was a little forgettable for me.
That's all right. What do you got, though?
Well, it's interesting because this was Bruce Dickinson's first album with the band, so like you could I could definitely see
He was feeling his way.
Yeah, sowing his oats. But I thought this was a good choice. I do like 22 Acacia Avenue. It's off of my favorite Iron Maiden album, so you got points for me on that one. But that is really interesting hearing everybody's thoughts on Bruce Dickinson as the vocalist. And Seth, I'm glad you mentioned the bass because Steve Harris is basically like the main member of Iron Maiden. He's kind of the leader of the band, and his bass guitar work is just, they call it like the galloping, like because he's like playing just with two fingers, and he gets bass lines that are just wild. Insane. How fast they are.
Yeah.
Like it was awesome. I really enjoyed it at the end because I like bass guitar anyways. It's like I like to listen for that in most songs, and most of them I don't hear. But like he really stood out in the end of this song there.
Yeah, he's the patriarch of the band, so he's the only original member left. And I mean, they started like 1979, 1975.
Dave Murray.
He was there, but not from the very beginning though.
He was on the first album.
Yeah. No, he was. Yeah. But like he's literally the guy that started the band and has kept it rolling over the years. All right, next track is The Last of Mine, which after I picked this, I'm like, why the fuck did I give these guys this song? And if you rip on this song, I don't blame you. I really like it, but I'm like I'm sitting here looking at it. I'm like, why the fuck did I pick this song? Because it doesn't really showcase a lot. I don't know what you guys think about it. I picked Love Bites from Judas Priest. It's from the Defenders of the Faith album. And Seth, what did you think of this one?
So the first thing I noticed it was the album art again. I was like, the album art was really cool. And then the song started with like the 80s pulse hit is what I called it. But then I said that the vocals were very jarring around 35 seconds. And then I was like, not a fan of the vocals at all. But I really liked the music. And then at 2:40, there was a nice little break that instantly went into, I wrote out, what the fuck was that? At 2:46. I need to go back and listen because I don't remember what it was. And then I was like, what, is someone getting gagged at like 2:57 in the background there? And I had to go back and play it again. And then the vocals really turned up around 3:40, and I want more of like that style. I felt like the ending was like, I really liked. So I wanted to be more of that. This is like the beginning was like what the fuck?
All right, Tyler.
So I'm glad you said that, because all I said was, like how aggressive the guitar is, ending solid. And this was the least amount of notes I wrote for mine. I just didn't think there was a lot there to unpack on this one. I have a lot more notes on some of the other ones, but this one I didn't really have a lot to unpack, unfortunately.
Yeah, I was interested. I'm like, why did you pick Love Bites from Judas Priest? There are so many other songs.
I know. There's so many songs I could have showcased the whole band and the vocals and stuff. I should have picked freaking Painkiller.
Even on Painkiller would have been a great one to pick. Even on this album, like
I know
Sentinel. I'm surprised you didn't pick Sentinel.
I know. Like I said, I literally sent this list out and I was like, why the fuck did I pick that song? I had no idea why I picked that song.
But one thing that Judas Priest always does have that Seth you mentioned is the album covers. The album covers for this band are fantastic.
Most of them.
Defenders of the Faith is great. Screaming for Vengeance has the awesome, cool screaming eagle coming down. Like, it really, really cool album covers. But, I don't know.
That's my bad. I will send you guys the song I was just talking about, Painkiller, and then just send me a text and tell me what you think of it after.
Did you mean to pick Def Leppard's Love Bites?
No, I honestly, I don't know. I'm like, because I literally sent the list out. I'm like, why the fuck did I pick that? I mean, I could have taken it back, but I didn't want to go through a whole big thing because I know it, because I knew Seth didn't have Apple Music, so, so that's my bad on that one. All right, so that's my list. That's my 8. Awesome thoughts on that, guys. You guys really did your due diligence on this stuff. And we're going to play Jim's song to break up the episode now. Since we are down here at Myrtle Beach, on the beach, it's been hot as balls down here. We're going to play a little Van Halen, Beautiful Girls.
She was a seaside sitting, just smoking and a drinking on ringside, on top of the world. Oh yeah. She had a drink in her hand, she had her toes in the sand. Whoa, what a beautiful girl. Ah yeah. What a sweet talking honey with a little bit of money to turn your head around. Preach from the sea with the looks to me like she liked to fool around. What a snappy little man, we're gonna keep her happy and accompany me to the ends of the earth. Ah yeah. So I said, here I am, they know, man of the world. All I need is a beautiful girl. Ah yeah, beautiful girls. Come here, honey, come on. Well, I'm a bum in the sun and I'm having fun, and I know you know I got no special plans. Special plans. All the bills are paid, I got it made in the shade, and all I need is the woman. Understand? What a sweet talking honey with a little bit of money to turn your head around. A creature from the sea with the looks to me like she liked to fool around. Here I am, ain't no man of the world. All I need is a beautiful girl. Ah yeah, beautiful girl. Oh, come this way, baby. Sit down right here. Ooh la la. I think I got it now. Now I'm a seaside sitting, just a smoking and a drinking. I'm ringside. I'm top of the world. Top of the world. I got a drink in my hand. I got my toes in the sand. All I need is a beautiful girl. Beautiful girl. Oh yeah. Here I am, ain't no man of the world. All I need is a beautiful girl. Ah yeah, beautiful girl. Oh, I ain't lying to you. Nothing else I need. Ah yeah, beautiful girl. Set yourself on down. Ah yeah, beautiful girl.
All right, hope you guys enjoyed Van Halen, Beautiful Girls. I enjoyed Beautiful Girls myself as well. Great beach song. So we will get back to the lists, and next list is going to be 8 songs that Dylan picked, so I'm going to let Dylan take the lead on this one.
Yeah, buckle up, everybody. I picked a couple different songs. I was going from a similar place as you, Dad, where I wanted to kind of give a little bit of a sampler platter of what we talk about and kind of what I listen to as well. Songs that I bring up all the time, or bands that I bring up all the time that I'm just interested to hear people's thoughts on that don't necessarily listen to this kind of music. So I start off with a band that a lot of people find polarizing with the vocals, so I'm very interested to hear what everybody thinks of this one. Afterlife from Avenged Sevenfold. I kind of picked this one because I love how different it goes. Like it starts off with strings, and then there's a lot of cool time changes, a lot of heaviness to it, and then the chorus is so much like lighter and different from the rest of the song. So wanted to throw that out there. Tyler, what did you think of this one?
Yeah, so for me, before I even looked up when this song was made, it sounded more modern to me, like early 2000s, late 90s. I wrote the chorus sounded like a hard rock version of Blink-182 chorus. I love Blink-182, so I did like this song. The name of the band, when I first looked at it, I was like, uh-oh, this is going to be a Screamo song. I don't know if I'm going to be interested in this one. But it actually wasn't. You mentioned the chorus was a little bit lighter. I liked it. But as I mentioned, it's a good one. So
Nice. Seth, how about you?
Yeah, so I actually wrote the most notes for this one, and it's a lot of time codes. So I'm just going to go down my list here. The first thing I noted was I said the strings were epic. It was the epic string opening. Also, I noted that I really liked the album art for this. Went into some nice riffs around 20 seconds, and then I was like, I think I've heard this before. And I really enjoyed the vocals. I thought it flowed well with the music. I really like it when there's melodic stuff. I like vocals when the music, it just flows good. I love that. And then I was like, yeah, I've definitely heard this before. Probably playing from a game in my childhood. I wrote like Tony Hawk, Skater, ATV Off-Road Fury, something like that, around 135. 230, we hit this skip beat type feel that I really like that music. And then at around 310, they had this mesh of the rock versus strings. I thought that was cool. Got a little bit headbangy around 340. Then we got some riffing and screaming around 4. I loved it. Then we went to really hardcore around 420. But it kind of left me wanting more for the drums to be a little bit more hardcore. I feel like the drums could have really stepped it up a little bit there. Then everything kind of came together at the end. Overall, I loved that one.
Nice. Dad, I know I got you into Avenged Sevenfold a little more, but you saw them live before you really got into them.
I did. And I always say this is one of the bands that I don't know why I don't listen to them more. I like the vocals on it. The time changes are cool. And Tyler, you said about the chorus. The chorus is really melodic in it. And I like this one. And like I said, they're always a band that I'm like, as soon as I hear something why am I not listening to more Avenged Sevenfold? So maybe I will on the way home.
You should. It's a great band. Fantastic. And I used to not like M Shadow's vocals at all.
I remember remember that.
But they've grown on me, and I've developed taste. So
it's been a while since they've had anything out, right?
The last I think was 2018 was their last album, but I think they're working on something new. But I mean, The Stage is a great album, so that's a great, more recent album. So the next one, I'm so sorry about the screaming vocals on this one, but this is a band that I'm obsessed with now, called Ice Nine Kills. I tried to pick a different song that we normally talk about on the playlist, so that might have been not the way to go. I probably should have went from the more recent album, but this song is part of an album called The Silver Scream, which each song is based off of a different horror movie. So this song was based off of Nightmare on Elm Street, Freddy Krueger, and it kind of follows that story a little bit. So I'm very interested to hear what you think about this one. Seth, why don't you start us off?
So I started off, and I, like you said, I definitely could feel the Halloween vibe, and I'll note that here. I thought the album art was hilarious. I loved it. I really loved the creepy sounds in the beginning. It was nice soft vocals with a radio effect. Got kind of epic feeling around 48, and then we went to really hard around 1. I noted that I really thought the music was great, 120, but then it got a little screamy, 135. I liked the lyrics. Got a little weird with the screaming at 220-ish. And then we went to Thriller, I thought, like at 2:30. The singing I really liked. I thought the screaming wasn't great. It kind of like threw it off a little bit. And we went to like this hard horror feel around 3:35-ish. I thought it was interesting mixing the genre a little bit, kind of just back and forth, and melding it a little bit. And then I noticed I loved how the singer was like, he said life in the shadows for some reason. I really liked that. And then my last note was, it was very Michael Myers-y.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and funnily enough, they do cover Thriller. So, Tyler, what'd you think?
Yeah, the Halloween vibe is right on here. It is a very screamo type song. Not my cup of tea. I wrote down guitar sounded sweet, but that's really all that really kept me hooked into it. Mm-hmm. As soon as you start doing the screaming, I can't understand the lyrics. I can't sing along. It usually loses me on that.
Yeah, completely understandable. And at the podcast, I'm usually the only one that likes screamo. So it's also an uphill battle for me. So I'm very much used to this. Dad, did you like this one?
Yeah, I didn't mind this one. I'm not a huge one for the major screaming, but I do like that there's clean vocals in there as well. And like I've always said, I really admire this band's dedication to the craft of crafting these songs around the horror movies. And I'm only interested to see where they go from here. They did Silver Scream 2 that Dylan did for your, I think it was a birthday album. I think you did.
Yeah.
And Seth and Tyler, you may be interested to know that Dylan and I have pit tickets to see these guys next month. So
I don't know. I don't know why he got us pit tickets.
Steve is going to be right against the back of the pit, just watching and hoping not to get killed.
Yeah.
So,
I should have picked Hip to Be Scared. That would with they do like
the Huey Lewis
part of the middle. But
yeah, I don't mind it. It's this is one that I would say that I wished you picked a different song from these guys.
Yeah, no, I agree. My next song, this is a band that I've seen live the most out of any band, just because they were always playing around us and we're always interested in hearing them. Alice Cooper, the song "Feed My Frankenstein." This was the first Alice Cooper song that I ever heard, because it was on the Wayne's World soundtrack, and they played it live before the "We're Not Worthy" scene. So that was kind of a nice entrance into how I got into this band. I love Alice Cooper. He's such a great guy. Loves golf too. He's a big golfer. And I'd love to hear what you guys think of Alice. Tyler?
Yeah, love this one. Chorus was another one to sing along to for me. Memorable there. The guitar solo sounded like it started out like it was like outer spacey vibe, and then kind of came into its own. I really like that. I was interested. I love Wayne's World. I'll have to go listen back. I quote the movie all the time. Maybe I should start listening to some of the soundtracks. I'll watch that on the flight home.
Nice. Seth, how about you?
So I'm pretty sure I've heard this at like a Halloween party before. I thought the music was fun and the lyrics were a little bit basic, but I loved that there was like a 90s synth to it that I really liked. It wasn't too much more. I didn't think the solos were like that great. Like they were there. They were just kind of just playing for fun, maybe. And this might piss some people off because I have no idea who most of these bands are. But when I just read the song title, I was like, I thought Alice Cooper might be like a woman and she was going to be talking about feeding her monster or something like that. Like I thought it was going to be like dirty sexual vibes, but it kind of just not did that. So,
well, it was funny because he came up with the name because it's like that like nice woman down the lane kind of vibe of like Alice Cooper, and like go with the exact opposite of that with his like stage show where he gets guillotined and his head gets chopped off and the crazy vibes with that. So that was the vibe he was going for.
This was actually only when I went out of like the playlist and I went onto like the wiki page and read about them a little bit. So that was interesting.
Yeah.
Wow. See, it's even working for Alice in 2022.
Yep. And he has a super group with Johnny Depp, where Johnny Depp plays guitar. So if you're interested to hear that, it's something. We saw him live. Johnny was okay.
He was all right. Good rhythm guitar player. Lead guitar player, no.
No. Yeah, he was trading solos with Joe Perry from Aerosmith.
And it literally looked like he didn't know what to do. He was like, I mean, you're trading solos with Joe Perry, but still he was lost.
Yeah. Yeah, you like Feed My
Yeah,
Friends, right?
I love this song. I've seen them do it live a million times. I just saw them do it in February.
Yep.
On Monsters of Rock cruise, and just fantastic. And that is, I believe, Slash playing the lead guitar solo on this song. I think, I don't know. There's one that he plays on there.
I think he plays. I think he plays on the title track. I think he plays on Hey Stupid.
Okay.
But
I knew he's on the album.
It might be Rambo. Was Rambo on this album?
Kane Roberts. I don't know. He's back in the band.
He is back in the band.
No, I like this one. I don't need to talk about this one. It's awesome.
Yeah, for context, Alice had a guitar player that looked exactly like Rambo. Like, he was ripped. He had, like, a machine
gun guitar.
Yeah. And he's back in the band now, so
he is.
Very cool. Next song from Tesla, Heaven's Trail, No Way Out. I've been burned by this band a million times because there's this one song that I have yet to see live that they Electric, and they refuse to play it. They literally played it the show before and after ours, did not play at our show, so I'm a little pissed off by that. But this is a good song by them that does not piss me off. A little bit of a darker vibe for Tesla, I would say, as well. Because normally, they're a little lighter. You might have heard their cover of Signs. So, yeah, what did you think of that, Seth?
Yeah, so I don't know. I said it was a very mild song. It started up kind of like Hillbilly, but went into rock. Very generic. I called it background music. I said it wasn't bad, but it wasn't great. It was just kind of there. That's all I had for that.
How about you, Tyler?
This was probably the one I had the second least amount of words written down here. I like the vocals. Background music is actually a really good way to put it. I wrote over top a simple riff. It was just something that I didn't hate it, didn't love it, kind of right in the middle for me.
Okay. Dad?
Yeah, I love Tesla. I've talked about these guys a million times on here. Just the only thing I got to say on this is the slide guitar solo is friggin' fantastic on it. Frank Hannon just absolutely fucking kills it on that song.
Yeah. They're not very exciting live anymore either.
No. They're very kind of like going through the motions, it felt like last couple times we saw them.
Yeah. Which is sad to see because they're normally...
No, they were like good rocking guys. Like now live, it's just kind of like...
I mean, Dave Rude's doing...
Dave Rude is... And actually...
He's the youngest guy in the band.
The drummer's Steve Brown.
Oh, yeah.
Is... They have a not a new drummer, but a kind of replacement. The
fill-in.
The fill-in drummer, the regular drummer is kind of like on a hiatus. And but he was really good too. He was like a good drummer to watch visually. So there was at least 2 out of the 5 guys in the band were rocking, anyways.
Well, if the Tesla didn't excite you, this next song probably will. Still Ain't Enough for Me by Mr. Big. These guys are virtuosos at their instruments. They go wild, as you've heard in the song. Saw this live and it blew me away, and I wanted to see what y'all thought of this one. Seth, what did you think?
Yes, I liked it overall. It gave me some of those Bam Margera vibes, like the way the show opens up. Very upbeat. I'm not a fan of like echoey vocals, and there's a lot of that there. There's a little break with a great guitar riff I really enjoyed, and then there was also a really nice bass solo in there. Then it just felt like it was too short. Like I wanted more at the end of it. I thought it could have gone longer.
Tyler, what'd you think?
I like this song a lot. I like the vocals. I thought the guitar solo in there was awesome. My favorite on the entire playlist, which I don't know if that sounds uneducated to me, but I love this one. It was cool. I wrote down I would love to see this live, which I don't know how I would act at a hard rock metal show. I'd have to probably drink a few too many Miller Lights and get out there in the pit with you all. But I really like this one. Solid guitar solo for me is what did it.
Yeah, Paul Gilbert is a madman on the guitar, and Billy Sheehan on the bass is also just wild.
Yeah, this band, you guys, is just absolutely amazing. Like Dylan said, virtuoso musicians, all of them. Pet Torpe, the drummer that's on this, has since passed away. And the singer is, they still get together and do shows, but like the singer's doing his own thing where they do Mr. Big things. The guitar player, you mentioned the solo, your favorite solo on the album. This guy is awesome. He will do songs like this from Mr. Big on a solo show, but he will... he has a backing band, so they will do the music, but he will literally do the vocal parts on the guitar at his shows, and it's absolutely amazing. And he's very charismatic, as well as the the singer Eric Martin, and just like awesome band. This whole album that this came from is absolutely fantastic. This song just, and I think Dylan picked a great one too because it showcases the whole band on this one, and absolutely fantastic.
And it's wild because the song that they're known for is "To Be With You," which is "I'm the one who wants to be with you." Completely different vibe from this and the rest of their catalog, where they're just shredding it up, and it's wild that was what got them big. But
Mr. Big.
That's how it goes. I didn't like him for Carrie. I thought Carrie could do a lot better than Mr. Big in Sex and the City.
Oh.
But, my next song from the band Extreme, another band with a really great guitar player. The song "It's a Monster." This is another band that got big from a ballad. More Than Words, classic song. But this is another one that I think has a really good kind of groove and a good bop to it. Tyler, what'd you think of this one?
I liked it. I wrote that the chorus kind of dragged on a little bit, solid guitar solo. It was definitely another one. I said I like songs that you get stuck in my head and repeat the chorus again and again. And it's another one that got stuck in my head. I liked it. But yeah, the only thing I would say is the chorus kind of did drag on a little bit too much for me.
Okay. Seth, how about you?
Yeah, I liked it. It was a fun rock sound. I called it party music. It sounds kind of like the beginning of like a Beverly Hills Cop or other 90s comedy. Overall, I thought it was pretty good. There was a nice guitar on 240 that I liked, but it was a little bit off from the rest of the song. Kind of just didn't feel like it fit in there. But it had a nice, strong finish at the end. Overall, I liked that one.
Dad, do you think I picked a good Extreme song?
I think you did. You picked a good one. I love the guitar solo on this one. Tyler mentioned the chorus. Just it's a kind of an earworm kind of thing where it sticks in your head. I'm a little surprised that Dylan picked the song about masturbation, but that's all right.
Well, I can't pick songs about zombies and Freddy Krueger all the time.
That's true. That's true.
Speaking of zombies, the next song is about zombies. "Fight 'Em Till You Can't" from Anthrax. One of my favorite thrash bands. I love these guys. Somebody had pointed out that Joey Belladonna is like the best singer of the Big Four, which, I mean, he kind of is, which is really interesting. James Hetfield probably is the only one that can give him a run for his money.
Why don't you explain to these guys what the Big Four is?
So the Big Four of thrash metal is Metallica, Megadeth, Anthrax, and Slayer. All bands you probably have heard by name, except maybe Anthrax. Anthrax is usually the one that gets forgotten about, but they're kind of my favorite because they actually did a song with Public Enemy. They did a cover of Bring the Noise with Public Enemy. So if anybody likes Public Enemy, you could listen to them and Chuck D sing it. So Seth, what'd you think of "Fight 'Em Till You Can't"?
Yeah, I thought it was okay. I kind of got that zombie fighting vibe. They had the fun emergency message in the beginning. Around 50 seconds, I really liked the melody, and I didn't really care for it before that. And the intro made you think it was going to be a lot harder than it was going to be. I just kept noting that there were nice vocals. The lyrics were a little bit weird around 120, but then at 135, I was like, I really like the feel of this. Like, it just felt cool. Lots of mixed styles in there. There was a nice solo on 344. But it did kind of feel like it was just going for a little bit longer than it needed to go for. But overall, it was okay.
Tyler, how about you?
I also noted the aggressive song start. If this one was at the beginning, I think I would have probably pressed skip. But I was like, you had me interested with some of the other ones. But the vocals I thought were tough to understand for me. I was trying to catch on, but I just couldn't. Nothing really kind of kept me interested, but I did note the aggressive song start just had me laughing a little bit.
Dad, what'd you think?
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of this song. I don't like that. Bada, 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 bada. I don't know. There's a lot more. This is another one that I think you could have picked a better Anthrax song to throw out there. This was always one of my least favorite ones on this album, but I mean it's good, but don't judge Anthrax by this song, you guys.
I like it.
That's all right.
Okay, well here, this next song is for all of you. It's "Sorry" by Striper.
in the show with an apology. For
yeah, well that's I did want to kind of do that. That's like kind of a tongue-in-cheek thing where I wanted to apologize for anything that you might not have enjoyed. But this band is actually a Christian metal band, which is why I picked them, because this does not sound like a Christian metal band. in this song. It's kind of heavier than you would think. And the vocals I also think are really good. So I'm very interested to hear what you think of this one. Who went first last time?
It was me, so Tyler.
Yep, so go ahead, Tyler.
Yeah, so I wrote on this one, vocals were solid. I like the guitar solo. I also wrote that this was one of the only songs on here where you could have put the vocals over top of like a pop beat, and I still think the song would have been a great one and could have been a chart topper, so to speak. That was probably the biggest one that I liked. These vocals were something that kind of kept me interested in the song. Everything else kind of played second fiddle to the vocals, is what I noted.
Mm-hmm. And they do the vocals very well live too.
Oh yeah,
like they get those harmonies down, and
all harmonies are fantastic.
It's fantastic. Seth, how about you?
Yeah, I noted that the singer had killer pipes. I liked the feel 1 minute in. Good vocals noted again, and I enjoyed the pulsing melody of the guitars. And very chill solos around 2:36. It was a very simple, but it sounded great. I liked that one.
Dad, did you think I picked a good Striper song?
You did pick a good Striper song. And the singer for this band, we also did an interview on the podcast with the singer for this band, Michael Sweet, his name is, and his brother Robert is the drummer in the band. Fantastic band. They've always been one of my favorite bands. In this song, it's they do have a lot of like Christian metal songs, and they have songs like this song is from an album like maybe 5 or 6 years ago. But these guys keep getting heavier as they go along. This is more of a mainstream type sounding song for these guys, but they have some that are double kick drums going like crazy riffs and soul, but Dylan picked a good song to showcase these guys. I'm glad you guys noticed his voice. He still sounds amazing, and he still sounds like this live. So I think it was a really good pick there. And he does him. There's him and another guitar player. They go back and forth on the solos on there.
Oz Fox.
Yep.
And he actually just overcame brain cancer,
like some
right?
kind of brain something going on. I don't know if it was cancer, but he was like in rough shape for a while.
It wasn't
there.
looking good,
Yeah.
but he's back live and he's doing really well. They kicked ass at M3 this
They're
year.
fantastic. They're on the Kiss Cruise this year too. So
they picked it up after Yngwie.
oh jeez, someone had to.
Yeah, so that's my list.
All right, so let's go. We'll go with Seth first. Give me your top 3 and your bottom 3 songs. Don't worry about hurting any feelings.
Yeah, so top three. I think Dylan's gonna take it. I gave Avenged Sevenfold Afterlife my top rating of A. It was like the only song besides our bonus one that I gave an A. Then the next song that had the highest rating was Ice Nine Kills Stabbing in the Dark. I gave that a B+. And then third, I had 2 B's on my list that were a tie, so I'll just go ahead and say that. That's both. If I give you both, is that fine? Tied for third place for me was that Striper, Sorry. That got a B. And then the other one that got a B was The Bullet for My Valentine, Pleasure and Pain.
How about your bottom?
Do you want to go from the worst last, or do you want to hear my worst one first?
So let's go with the worst last. Build up to it.
Right, so I got to go through my list because I gave every song a rating. And unfortunately, they're all on Steve's list.
Seth, it was nice having you on here, buddy. See ya.
Coming from second or third to last was Heat, Come Clean. I gave that a D. Faster Pussycat, Poison Ivy, D-. And Queen's Wright, Empire was an F for me. Sorry.
You're out of the will. All right, Tyler. Let's go with your worst first, and then we'll do best.
All right, bottom 3. So the bottom 3 was easier than the top 3. So I guess that's kudos to you all because you picked some good ones. So the bottom 3 coming in at number 3, third worst. The American Nightmare song. It's not for me. Mm-hmm. Number 2, Fight 'Em Till You Can't. The aggressive songs start and the screamo vibe. I couldn't understand the vocals. And then number 1, we kind of mentioned this. It was Steve's last song, Love Bites. I wrote like nothing on that one. It was kind of a song that I skipped through. So that was my bottom 3. My top 3, So I feel like my top three is Seth's bottom three because Poison Ivy was number three for me. I did get number 2 in there. I did get Afterlife, Avenged Sevenfold. I like that one. The vocals, like I mentioned, it was like a metal version of Blink 182 in the chorus, and I love Blink 182. And then number 1, just because it was the only song that I heard before, and I gave the kudos, was Empire. So I like that one.
All right, very cool. And go ahead, Dylan.
Well, do you want me to do my top and bottom for you, or?
You just do top 2, bottom 2.
Okay, yeah, sure.
For my list. I'll do yours.
Let's see, bottom 2, just for, like, because I would have picked different songs. I do like the songs. Love Bites, I would say. Like, there's definitely better Judas Priest songs you could have picked. And I would say Empire, because I feel like there would be different Queensryche songs that I would have picked as well.
Okay.
But top songs, I have to give it to Poison Ivy. I love that jaunty piano. I am such a sucker for it. It's so good. And I'll go Pleasure and Pain as well, because Bullet from a Valentine's fantastic. And they kick ass live.
All right. My top 2, I'll go with my bottom 2. My bottom 2 for you would definitely be Anthrax. It would be the bottom one. And then I would say just to pick one, I would say maybe the Ice Nine Kills, because that was one I thought you could probably pick a better song from them for this. And my top 2, number 2 would be Stryper. Absolutely love those guys, and I would pick Mr. Big for the champ of your list. Cool. Just absolutely fantastic, and I haven't listened to that album in a while.
It's a good album,
and it's fantastic, and I did miss those guys live. You did see them live, and I didn't. So
got to see the song live.
Yeah. So what we'll do is what we usually do, Seth and Tyler. We just I'll ask you guys your final thoughts, and then Dylan will do ours, and we'll get the hell out of here.
Well, do you want to talk about the bonus song?
Oh shit! I forgot about that.
Yeah.
That was
all right. I forgot about that. I'm glad you said that. Yeah. I have it written down here, but I usually highlight a bunch of shit that I don't want to forget, but I don't have my highlighter like right with me, so that's why I didn't. So bonus track that I picked for these guys, since I was golfing with Seth and Tyler the other day, and I know Dylan loves this song too as well. I picked the song Tiger Woods from Steel Panther from the Balls Out album that came out 2014 or something like that, I think. And Tyler, you were the no offense, Seth, but you're the best golfer in the room right now. On the airwaves. What do you think of this one?
I loved it. You knocked it out of the park. If this one was on the playlist, it was our bonus track, but if it was on the playlist, I had it heads and shoulders above the rest. Only because big golf fan, it kind of tied it all together. I liked the vocals, the lyrics were catchy, the guitar was catchy. It was just all around good song for me. And it was about something that I know, right? A lot of this other stuff didn't resonate with me as a person, but I grew up watching Tiger Woods, and I like this song.
All right, Seth.
Yeah, the same thing. If this was part of the competition, it was. I gave this one an A+. It was my favorite. It had the best album art yet. I really liked the guitar melody. There were so many amazing one-liners. I just wrote a couple LOLs. One was at 55. There was a "Whip That Shaft." 3 holes are better than the hole one. The music was amazing, and I actually put that on my personal party playlist. So overall, it was an awesome song.
Yeah, Steel Panther's a good band to go to if you want to just laugh. They're great musically as well, and they're a joke band, but they're a joke band with substance in the music, which is what I appreciate. Sometimes the lyrics don't land for me. With Tiger Woods, it is pretty funny. It's a pretty funny song, but I think this was a good choice to give to our golfer guests to kind of give them a nice little cherry on top of the playlist Sunday. So good job.
Now, Tiger had to hear this song. Someone played it for him. I wanted to be in that room when he first heard this song and heard the lyrics that they were singing. And it's all true, It talks about his banging hookers and tell your wife you're golfing nights. all the crazy shit there. When the 9-iron's headed for your Escalade because the wife did beat his car with one of his clubs. So I would just love to have been in the room when they played this song for him. But it is good that lyrically it's like they catch all the Tiger bullet points, I think, and it's funny. Musically, it's fantastic, and you got to see these guys live. They are really funny, but they do too much of a comedy show. Mm-hmm. They do, like, I've said it before a million times on here, but they have a live DVD out. They play one song, and I've timed it. They fuck around on stage, busting balls and all this shit. It's literally 16 minutes before they play the second song. I'm like, just fucking play. Their shows are great, but they need to do more music. And I think that, you guys like the song musically. I would love to see them do just a regular hard rock album, just straightforward, without the comedy thrown in there, because they're really great musicians and and the vocals are great. So I would really love to see that. So I'm glad you guys enjoyed that. And I literally thought of that after I sent the list, so that's why I wanted to do it for a bonus track, because I thought you guys would definitely like that song, especially following golf how you guys do. So all right, so we'll go around. We'll start with Seth, and we'll do a little wrap up, and we'll continue our vacation. Well, most of us.
Yeah,
sorry, Seth. What do you got, Seth?
Yeah, absolutely. I had no idea what I was getting into when we originally talked about this, but it was a great experience. I loved all the music, whether I rated it good or bad. I'm just a fan of music anyways. I like to feel music, and if music vibes me, then I'm happy. And so I don't get to explore. I don't explore as much as I probably should when it comes to music. So this was a great taste for me to get out there and explore some stuff that I don't typically listen to, but I do have the appreciation for music, and there was a lot of really good music out there on this list. So overall, it was great. I will say, I was expecting a little bit more hardcore than what I got. There was a lot in there that I thought was a little bit more soft, but maybe next time you'll surprise me. But overall, great. I loved it. Thank you.
I did as well. I actually was glad it wasn't as hardcore as I was expecting it to be. I'm the same way. You talk about it all the time. I like the way music makes me feel. It doesn't matter what the genre is. And listening to this, I enjoyed a lot of the songs, how they made me feel. It actually some of the songs were more upbeat. Some of the songs got stuck in my head. I added a couple more to my playlist. The Tiger Woods one's definitely going on my golf playlist, so I'll be playing that out there when I play 18. But overall, it was fun. I didn't listen to a lot of metal, heavy rock before or anything like that. But maybe I will start listen to a couple songs. If you want to send me some to listen to you think we'll like, I definitely give them a listen.
Yeah, I want to thank both of you for taking the time to come on the podcast. This was fantastic. Really great idea. I really enjoyed hearing the outside opinions of people who aren't necessarily into this kind of music, because it makes you look at the songs in a different way and hear things that you normally wouldn't, or see what other people notice that like you take for granted. I think that's a really cool way to look at music, and you can listen to all these songs that we talked about on our Spotify playlist of the week. Put it in the show notes. You could check out our picks and let us know what you would have picked if you were in our shoes introducing this kind of music to other people. What songs would you have done differently? What songs would you have done in a different way? But I think it'd be cool at some point to do a sequel to this where we're given a playlist from these guys, and we'll give our opinions on that. But we didn't want to take up too much time, during this period. So that'll be for next Myrtle Beach trip.
There you go.
I think.
I like that idea.
Yeah.
I like it and I hate it at the same time.
I think I'd be more open to it than you would, because I listen to a lot of different music outside of hard rock and heavy metal.
I probably I wouldn't listen to it on the drive down here, because I'd just drive off the side of the road. Probably that's some shit you guys would give me.
You'd have to listen to it, after a few beers or something, sitting on a porch, not where you want to drive yourself off a cliff.
Yeah. Not where I'm in danger of hurting myself or others.
Yeah, I can't even imagine you listen to like LCD Sound System or.
I don't even know what that is. Is that a stereo?
Well, it is, but it's also a group.
Oh, okay. You done?
Yeah.
Okay. I wasn't saying that in a mean way. Like you know what I'm talking about, right? Yeah, guys, thank you for taking your time out of your vacation and your convalescence at home, Seth. I really appreciate you guys did awesome due diligence for the songs. It was fun, and we did take it easy on you guys. There's some more brutal stuff that we both listened to that we could have thrown out there, but I wanted to give you guys a taste, for my pick list anyways, of pretty much what we do here. And I know you guys aren't music guys, so I'm sure you're not listeners. I know, Tyler, you said you listened to a couple of episodes just to kind of get a feel for what we do here. But this is pretty much our wheelhouse of what we talk about, what we get into. And I really appreciate you guys, putting the time into it. Because, I mean, you didn't have to, and we're taking time out of your vacation. And I really appreciate it. And I want to say, I'm so glad that you guys married our cousins, because you guys are awesome. You guys are like brothers to me now. And we had an awesome time golfing the other day. I would have went to the Shark Park with you guys, but I would be convalescing as well, with Seth probably having a heart attack or something. Like going up to that place, I would be dead. But so happy that you guys are part of the family now. And we had a great time. We got 2 more days down here. We've had we had an awesome card game, like Dylan said last night. A lot of laughs, a lot of ball busting, and I would be up for doing that if you guys would, for next time we come down. Absolutely. You guys give us 8 songs and we'll roll with that. I think it'll be interesting. I'm looking forward, but not looking forward to it. So, but you would have to give me a little more lead time, because I would have to give it a little more. I would think I would have to listen to a little bit and take a break, and then listen to a little more. Throw in some Metallica real quick. Okay. Name me the next song. But seriously, guys, really appreciate it. Hope you guys out there enjoy this one. Like I said, I really enjoy doing these vacation episodes, Dylan and I, and it gives BC and BB a break as well. And I kind of did mess up, you guys. I talked about it with Dylan that there's 2 bands that our other 2 hosts really like. I should have thrown in, or at least one of us thrown in a song for one of those guys' bands as well. So what I'm going to do is, I did say that I was going to send you something else to check out, but I will send you each a song that I would have picked from our other co-hosts, and just send me a quick text and let me know what you think of them. But guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the vacation episode. We sure as hell did. And everybody, have a great summer out there. Listen to some music. Like I say every week, listen to at least 1 album a week all the way through with no interruption. You'll be happier for it. And take care out there, everybody. Take care of yourselves and each other. And we will see you next time. And there definitely will be a next time.